Welcome everyone to the podcast Let's Talk ICP, Internet Computer. Today in our episode number 16, we have with us the co-founder of one of the most important projects in the entire Internet computer ecosystem, that is InfinitySwap, the platform to create, stake, and swap tokens on the Internet computer, and much more. Thank you so much, Mr. Max Chamberlin, to join us today. It's a real pleasure to have you here today.
Yeah, thank you, Javier. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here chatting with you, engaging with your listeners. So yeah, we'd love to give you the rundown on InfinitySwap, what we're building, what we do.
Right, cool. Okay, first, yes, the audience want to know more about you. Who is Max? Tell us about yourself before to start the InfinitySwap project. I see you study computer science and philosophy in Oxford, and then different master's degree in machine learning in Cambridge. Also, you work as quant financial analyst, data scientist, CTO, among other jobs. Tell us more about your different experience before I start InfinitySwap and your background.
Yeah, it's been quite a long journey, and it really just started off me working on a internship with my dad, who's a CTO programmer. And then kind of from there, very humble beginnings. I had, on the advice of this very intelligent man that I met, when I was thinking of what to study at university, whether it be math or computer science. He just said, why don't you take a look into this degree that I've got? It's a computer science and philosophy. He's an Oxford professor, and I thought, okay, well, this sounds very cool. I already had, a deep fascination for philosophy. The big questions about life, aesthetics, science, epistemology, all lots of areas of human inquiry and knowledge, and to combine that also with a scientific discipline, or maybe more of a deductive discipline, like computer science or maths, where you get to do things with logic, I think was very exciting. So went in for this course at Oxford, and one of the colleges, it was called Hertford College. They have this beautiful bridge that faces the college faces the Radcliffe Camera, which is one of the famous libraries in Oxford, and they have really stunning architecture. And it was I get, you'd meet so many interesting, intelligent people there. I remember some of the over the vacations at Oxford, got a chance to meet some of my friends who were interning at places like Facebook and Google in San Francisco, Palo Alto. And we've actually got on this I was really crazy on this iPad picture, because I went over to San Francisco to meet up with some of my friends, and there's one of the guys in Oxford from the year below. He was working on his different startup ideas, and at the time I think it was like some sort of ticketing app for the students in Oxford, but now that guy has launched like $1 billion VC funded company, which is making good revenue. And he's less than 25 or something, 26, 27. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a really interesting place, crucible for ideas, and like all kinds of entrepreneurial activities as well. After that, I took a master's degree in machine learning. I was quite interested in AI, and what could be done over the next. And at the time, we were going through a wave of AI hype, and there was a lot of interest in that. One of my tutors at Oxford, just before I started the course at Cambridge, he sold his startup to DeepMind. And yeah, so there was a lot going on back then. And then after that, it was kind of a bit of a winter of different machine learning ideas, AI ideas. But it seems like there's a resurgence now in the field of AI, what with the advent of generative AI models that can do all things. And if you've interacted with ChatGPT, it's a fascinating system which can respond to all kinds of queries intelligently. That wasn't, even back then, that wasn't possible. We were exploring different kinds of machine learning models like recurrent neural networks, LSTMs, and everything, but it hadn't really got to the stage where OpenAI has right now, and probably a few other research labs which may be conducting research in secret. We don't know. But yeah, that was going on. I thought had a great time on the course as well. Went off subsequently and worked at Credit Suisse for a little bit. AstraZeneca doing machine learning research. And spent quite a few years in the tech field. During that period, I started getting to blockchain and the Ethereum crowd, and I started posting ideas on the Ethereum forums, and actually made friends with Justin Drake from the Ethereum Foundation, and we kind of went back and forth with different ideas about sharding and how to come up with a very performant blockchain system. Yeah, so that was also a really exciting period. And yeah, the Ethereum people were very, very, very intelligent. Just like the IC guys are also really intelligent. I think they are too. And yeah, it's ultimately did a fair few things in entrepreneurship before I really found my footing again in the crypto space. And then, I think about a year and a half ago, met up with Alessandro, who is my co-founder in InfinitySwap. And he's a person I've known for quite some time. We met at a tech accelerator in London, like many, many years ago. And we decided to start building on the IC as it was launching, to build a decentralized exchange and build some of the foundations of DeFi. Alex also has a fascinating background in crypto and Cambridge and doing research. He did a master's in Cambridge, and one of his research topics was analyzing the Bitcoin network, scanning for all kinds of transactions.
Yeah, that's great. That's a cool story, a great journey with different experiences, different companies. One of the top universities, companies, people. That's great, great long journey. And yeah, as you mentioned, you meet Alex Rietzman, your friend and your co-founder, your partner in London, right? In an incubator. And how is because it's something that you talk with him, and it's immediately you connect with him and start to do something like decentralized finance, or it takes time, or you have the idea before and then start to build behind the scenes, or what is the story starts before the
So that's a great question. Coming into the incubator, I wanted to build a decentralized exchange or some other foundational piece of blockchain infrastructure. So yeah, I was ideating with another friend of mine who's also into business, who's been quite successful. We wanted to build a DEX, and this was before Uniswap had really taken off or anything like that. So you had like 0x on Ethereum, which was a very interesting project, but it hadn't really figured out that people need a place to put their crypto and make it work for them. So, you know, and this is one of the great insights of an AMM, is that you don't need to hand your coins over to a market maker for you to make a passive income from your crypto coins. And also market making can be democratized amongst a great many different people, you know, all the holders in a liquidity pool. So, you know, you can get passive returns from your crypto, and it's a genuine viable business model. So that's really one of the things I was quite interested in at the time. I'd also done a lot of research into layer 1 blockchains and what makes them really performant. So I was very excited about Definity even back then, even though they were just like kind of coming out of their, I think it was the seed round. They had the white paper out. But, you know, 2017, 18, we had that crypto crash, and there was a lot of negative sentiment around crypto in Europe. So when we were in this startup incubator, you know, a lot of the people there, other entrepreneurs looking to found companies, they weren't excited by crypto. They didn't see the potential because, you know, just like now, you know, sort of big crash and everybody thinks, oh, it's a scam. But Alessandro, to his credit, was one of the few people who was really excited about crypto back then. You know, even back then as well, and he'd just done his research paper. You know, for various reasons, we didn't come together to found a company back then, but you know, it started you know, a long-running friendship, and you know, ultimately we decided, you know, we parted ways, and then we got back together to build on crypto again.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And yeah, in terms of InfinitySwap, when you create Infinity, for people outside the internet computer ecosystem, can you explain us why do you think InfinitySwap is a unique DeFi project? Also, what is exactly InfinitySwap? As you mentioned, is a platform, a DEX that you can get passive income through the pools. How it works exactly, InfinitySwap, the AMM, the pools, and everything? If I, for example, want to start today to use InfinitySwap, what is the different options that I have?
Yeah, so the internet computer is blockchain. It's going to have lots of tokens. If you want to get a passive return from those tokens, you can add those tokens to a liquidity pool. We're building an AMM. That's an automated market maker. You can think of it as an exchange where you can deposit your tokens, and the protocol does the market making for you, so you can get a return from them. But you can also use it to buy and sell. So you can swap one token for another as you enter into a liquidity pool. You know, there have been liquidity pools on a lot of blockchains. So we've had you know, Uniswap, the biggest DEX on Ethereum, is of course an automated market maker model DEX. And yeah, I think one of the unique features of the internet computer blockchain are the native integrations with other chains, starting with Bitcoin. Now, that means that we can have pairs between Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Obviously, Bitcoin is the largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization. So it's the one with the most liquidity. And, you know, there's a lot of distrust around centralized counterparties now, especially with the shenanigans that have been pulled by Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX, and people want the trust. They don't want to trust a person. They want a trustless system. They want everything transparent and on-chain. And that's what InfinitySwap is providing for the largest market coin for Bitcoin, you know, and other tokens on the internet computer. We're providing a way for you to exchange your tokens, enter into liquidity pools, and do so with the most liquid coin in the whole of cryptocurrency, and to do it in a decentralized manner as well.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, perfect. And also, yeah, you mentioned the unique feature now. We are so excited about the mainnet Bitcoin integration on ICP through the CKBTC, the chain key Bitcoin ledger on the internet computer. This ledger not depends on any bridge between the Bitcoin network and the ICP. It's a huge milestone here that the Finity has achieved something unique for sure. It is running the Bitcoins in the ICP blockchain automatically through the smart contracts where the code is the law. It's no third parties, it's no one behind the bridges or deal with the integrations between Bitcoins and the other currency, the other cryptocurrency. It's not the classical wrap Bitcoin where needs someone, person or entity process the transaction with the risk involved in the transaction. And in the case of InfinitySwap, how do you think, Max, you can benefit in terms of business volume, as you mentioned, liquidity, trades in general? And when you think will be ready the Bitcoin integration in InfinitySwap, for example, for the BTC ICP pairs, or what is your plans for this huge milestone and how you can take advantage with that?
Yeah, so Bitcoin has already been integrated on the IC's mainnet. Canisters can send Bitcoin transactions. So some of the wrapping around the Bitcoin through the CKBTC that has yet to be completed. But once that is completed, the CKBTC will be exactly the same token standard as the SNS, which is the ICRC1 token standard. That's kind of like the de facto standard for tokens on the IC. And so you'll be able to enter your Bitcoin into a liquidity pool, just like you can with any other token standard. And that'll be coming very soon, contemporaneously with the foundation's timelines.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it's very exciting because you can, of course, people hold a lot of Bitcoin, so there's a lot of pent up, and most of the trading on sexes, are Bitcoin pairs. They have a huge amount of volume. So if we can tap into that and tap into people's need to want, and desire for decentralized finance, then we're opening up a really big market that has not really been tapped into. I'm also excited for some of the other cross-chain integrations that the IC will have. Ethereum, for instance, the Bitcoin Ethereum pair on the IC could be a very large one. Yeah, so I think it's great, and I think projects also wanting to raise. You can now do. For our AMM, we've implemented liquidity bootstrap pools. These are very capital efficient ways to start liquidity pools if you want to raise funds. And you can use this now to raise funds in Bitcoin as well as other coins like Ethereum. Like before, you can really do it for Bitcoin very easily without a lot of wrapping and all this stuff. Now you could just, straight into your Bitcoin wallet. You send it to the DEX and you're done. So it's a huge advantage.
Yeah, that's cool for sure. And yeah, for people that don't know too much about how it works, DEX, because it's the same as an exchange. You have in InfinitySwap different tokens, and then you can buy and sell the tokens. You can stake the tokens, or how it works exactly. In general, the InfinitySwap in terms of the DEX. For example, if I have today 100 ICPs, what is the possibilities that I have? I can. Do you have a wallet there? I can stake in during ideas, or I can sell, buy, and change for other cryptos? How it works exactly?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can use the wallet, and you have your coins stored in the wallet, different kinds of ICP tokens, maybe the internet ICP itself, Bitcoin, and you can really just add liquidity to any of the highest API liquidity pools on the platform. So you just see which your pools are yielding good return, because there's a lot of activity between people who want to buy and sell, and then you just add liquidity in various pools. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and also as you mentioned, it's like a way to passive income. Like for people for want to get a good pension, right? Instead of trust of the government, you have other option in InfinitySwap, for example. Yeah, that,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah,
Yeah, also we talk about the InfinitySwap wallets. I know, and I read on the webpage, the InfinitySwap wallet is one of the best on the ecosystem. They have a lot of features. It's the most advanced wallet compared with other players in the industry. Yeah, for example, to mention like different features, it's a fast transactions with lower fees in the wallet, NFTs, gallery to display your collection. It's safety because you can use the internet identity for Web3 browsing. You have also the option for the auto locking. It's a non-custodial wallet. That means that you have the control of your assets. Yeah, can you add something, or you want to talk how you build
yeah,
the InfinitySwap wallet? What is exactly these
yeah. I
features?
think sure. So InfinitySwap wallet is like a safe, self-custodial wallet for the IC, and beyond. So we recently rebranded to call it the Bitfinity wallet to celebrate this union between the internet computer and also Bitcoin. And as a result, it's going to be one of the first Chrome expansion smart contract wallets that can use Bitcoin for smart contracts. So, your playground is the whole of the IC space. Anywhere, any platform that can get you yield from your BTC, you can use the wallet as a direct entry point. So it's your gateway to decentralized finance for Bitcoin on the IC. We've also got other features as well. Like you mentioned the NFTs. So we show and display NFTs by marketplace and have statistics on the NFTs, which is kind of unique. It's a feature in the IC. Got a contact book, you can save your contacts, edit them there, which is very convenient. And also, if you're worried about copy and pasting addresses, it makes your life a lot easier. Yeah, you can log into the wallet through internet identity. So it's like a passwordless way of logging into the wallet. You don't have to remember any password. If your device, your laptop, your phone has biometric authentication, then you can use the wallet in conjunction with internet identity and not have to worry about remembering or forgetting passwords. Yeah. A lot of work has gone into the user experience, so we also have an active Discord, and we want the features in the wallet to be really community driven, user driven. So if you have any ideas, if you want to check it out, please do pop into our Discord, give us a shout, let us know what you think and how we can improve it. That would be really appreciated.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, great. Also in terms of tokenomics, InfinitySwap have been collaborated to have the ICRC1 token standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, InfinitySwap has support the team to tokenization, also in collaboration with the Finity District, the Emergent Labs, Life Technologies, Internet Identity Labs. Here we can see the spirit of collaboration and how ICP community is involved and all the projects are strong together. Max, my question here is, what is the advantages exactly about the ICRC1 token standard?
Mhm.
And what is the role did InfinitySwap team playing in achieving the goal of this token?
Yeah, so the ICRC1 standard came about through a set of community discussions on the IC and the need for a common standard which all projects could use. Because you know, early on in the IC's you know, quite early on in the IC's life, near the inception, there were a lot of token standards floating around on the IC. Had like DIP20, EXT, DFT20 from what they called DLand Labs, I think. You had a standard developed by IC Lighthouse, and you had this curious scenario where every single DEX project on the IC was developing their own token standard, which, you know, which is not good for the IC. It was not productive. That's not the right way forward.
Yeah.
And so, you know, because, you know, these token standards are sort of like roads and railways, you know, connecting people together. And, you know, you just want it to be pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but just like, you know, an easy way of bringing one project to another project. And so, you know, out of this need, out of this frustration, the community and Definity also helped as well. We started coming together and discussing what would make an ideal token standard on the IC.
Okay.
And yeah, so there were a lot of discussions that went into that. A lot of discussions. I think one of the big changes was in terms of whether we should use account identifiers, principal identifiers, or something else. You know, and you know, InfinitySwap, we were one of the early projects who were pushing to replace account identifiers for, you know, just having principals and sub accounts as, you know, the way of sending to different parties. So instead of sending to someone's account identifier, which was like the hash of the principal and sub account and was deliberately opaque, we pushed for a more transparent system, which would be to use the principal and the sub account without the hashing. Hashing is like a cryptographic function which kind of obscures any inputs into the function, so you can't really tell, given an output, you can't tell what the inputs were. So it's used a lot in privacy and everywhere in blockchain and computer science. But in this case, its purpose was to make the IC's transactions more private. When, you know, for DeFi, we really need openness and transparency. And one of the early things that InfinitySwap suggested in this working group and the set of community discussions was to make that transparent for everybody.
Okay, great. Yeah, also I see you have a lot of partnerships in InfinitySwap. You have a very strong connections and support and collaboration with other projects. For example, with marketplaces such as Seto, Created Collectives or CCC, Tonic Labs, Yumi, also with social media, Discover, Catalyze, Meme Cake, with video games, projects related, for example, Plethora, Cosmic Crafts or Dark Studio. Other projects, for example, Crowdfund NFT, Mod Club, Itoka, VRSTL, Metaverse Studios, Boxy Dude, even with NFT artists, for example, Raúl Ejido or Decalord89, among others. I have named many, but not all partnerships. How does InfinitySwap benefit for these partnerships, and what do they consist of exactly?
Yeah, so a lot of these projects are using our wallet application to authenticate their users and to so we, you know, if the wallet has a lot of active users in the tens of thousands of weekly active users on the IC, you know, even at an early stage like this. And you know, it benefits the projects because people who are using our wallet application can then also access these other projects and use their services or use their NFT marketplace or log into their video game, which is running on the IC. Yeah. But I think it's more than that as well. It's about, you know, communities searching for thought leadership, for direction, and myself and some others at InfinitySwap are really trying to push that and push the IC forward so it can be one of the top chains in the blockchain ecosystem, you know. And I think that's what, you know, part of it as well. People are gravitate towards that because they know that, you know, we're really battling hard for the IC.
Okay. Okay, yes, we have a couple of minutes more. Yes, I would like know more about the projects that you have for 2023. What is your roadmap? If you have any major release for the next year. Yeah, and also what is your purpose or your growth plan to attract more users in the future?
Yeah. So early next year, by January, we'll integrate Bitcoin into the wallet and also into our automated market maker and open that up to the public. We anticipate in some point in January. And beyond that, you know, part of the growth plan is also advertising this wallet as the de facto Bitcoin smart contract wallet, you know, and getting people excited. We've already seen people like BitBoy taking an interest in the IC. He actually is a subscriber to our blog, and so he's quite interested in what some of the stuff that's coming out of our publication, and also in the technical advances in the IC. I think it's about growth and getting people's attention so that they can use the different projects on our platform, not just InfinitySwap's DEX and wallet, but the IC at large. Subsequently, we hope to integrate Ethereum. So we're working on a project right now to run an Ethereum light client on the IC. And we have some very promising traction there, which will mean that you'll be able to send Ethereum trustlessly to the IC using an Ethereum node, which is running directly on the IC, and that's going to be able to give you. So you'll be able to use any Ethereum token you want to on the IC as well. And the IC will effectively become a layer 2 for Ethereum, as well as Bitcoin. So that's one of the other, I think, really cool things that we're working on. And, you know, the community's heard a lot about bridges. There was Terabithia. There might have been quite a few others. I think there was an IC Lighthouse bridge. But, you know, the key thing about what we're building is that it's going to use an Ethereum node. So you'll be communicating with Ethereum directly. Yeah. We also have we have a few other projects, but, you know, we're trying to keep them under wraps for now. But, you know, if your viewers and listeners are interested, you know, definitely just follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our blog, and that's the best way to keep informed and stay up to date with all the latest advances.
Yeah, please, people, check it out. The great things that InfinitySwap, Max, Alex are doing now. And thank you so much for your time and for sharing with the Let's Talk ICP more info about InfinitySwap. I wish you the best for the next year.
Yep. Merry Christmas to you, Javier, and hope you have a good New Year. Yeah.
Merry Christmas and good year.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Care.
Take care.
Yeah. Cheers. Bye. Bye.
See you. Bye. My pleasure.